In Season 3, Episode 4 of The Boys, we got the revelation that Soldier Boy was not in fact dead, but instead he was very much alive, but being contained in a cylinder where he was hooked up to a ton of leads. But the outstanding question is why? Well, I thought I'd take a look, theorize and give my theories and predictions on why he was kept locked up for so long. So let's get into it. Here is why was Soldier Boy kept in a container in The Boys Season 3 Episode 4. Just to let you know, this video will contain spoilers. At the end of Episode 4, when the boys were looking through the warehouse for the weapon used to kill Soldier Boy, they stumbled across a container, and then once opened, we saw that Soldier Boy was alive and being kept in there. We saw Soldier Boy step out in a confused state, charge up his new power, and unleash it on Kamiko, which had devastating effects on her in not being able to heal like she would usually be able to, and in turn gave her a reaction like a normal human being would have to a blast like that. In Episode 3, we were led to believe that he was killed at the invasion and then taken to Russia, but it seemed as though something far different had actually happened. When the boys stumbled across him, his appearance had changed and his powers had also changed too. Since the 80s, when he was kidnapped, it appeared as though the Russians had been doing all sorts of tests on Soldier Boy, who was once considered America's most well-equipped supe. We saw what the other supes were like at the time in Payback, non-equipped, poorly trained individuals that had nothing really to offer other than the comic nature of their powers. We saw early on in Episode 3 that Soldier Boy was the only supe that was well trained and held the skill set to be on the battlefield, causing him to be a great threat, hence the reason as to why the Russians likely took an interest in him. After all of the testing that he underwent, he likely ended up with this radioactive blast that he can shoot out of himself that appeared to restrict people's powers temporarily, or for good. That hasn't been revealed yet, and the Russians were keeping him locked up due to the fact that they wanted him to be treated as a weapon, as he was far too dangerous to be walking around in civilization. Also, the fact that he was presumed dead meant that he wouldn't be allowed to be seen in public without causing further attention. They have essentially created a supe that is able to harm any other superhero that has Compound V in their system. It appeared as though his powers could stop a supe from holding their powers, and even if it is for a brief moment, then we know that Homelander will be vulnerable for the first time since being a supe, which is exactly what the boys and the rest of the Seven are after in order to kill him. We've never seen Homelander like that before, so it will be interesting to see Homelander without his powers and feeling pain from the hands of another supe. Granted, there is a lot to be done for Soldier Boy to even get in the proximity of Homelander, but I think it's something we will see happen in this season. Originally, presuming BCL Red was a weapon that killed Soldier Boy, the boys were aiming to claim and then use it on Homelander, but now it's safe to say that Soldier Boy is most definitely the weapon that they were seeking. I think that the boys are likely going to try and use Soldier Boy to their advantage, and get him to use his powers against Homelander. Prior to the 80s, Soldier Boy would have been no match, and would have been defeated as easily as Supersonic was. But with the newfound powers running through his veins, he's the very thing that the boys and the Seven have all been after. We don't know if he has full control over the powers, due to the fact that he could have been kept in a state of hibernation for a long time. And judging by the many parts of the trailer for the show, such as when he's back in the city, it doesn't feel like he has that much control over them or know how to use them to his advantage. I also think he'll have a personal vendetta against Vought for allowing him to be kept locked up and not going after him. Even if he was presumed dead, he was left to be experimented on without anybody coming after him for around 40 years. So he went from being considered America's most loved supe to not even being worth going after, which is something I imagine wouldn't sit right with him. I'm intrigued to see where Soldier Boy goes in the next couple of episodes, but I do think he is going to take the side of the boys. So, there you have it, why Soldier Boy was kept in a container and what I believe they plan on doing with him next. If you want to see more content on the boys such as the previous episodes explained, supes explained, or theories and predictions, then hit on the I button, or alternatively you can head over to my channel where you'll find all of the videos. If you'd like to recommend a show or movie that you'd like me to talk about next, then head over to my Twitter @BrainPilot_ and tweet me what show or movie you'd like me to review next. Also, if you want to see what I review other shows that just don't quite make the cut to getting a dedicated video, then head over to my Letterboxd profile, where I rate all of the latest releases. What do you think is in store for Soldier Boy? Leave a comment down below, and don't forget to subscribe. I'll see you next time.